This is my first garden video of 2018, and today I will finish planting everything. And I want to give a shout out to my niece, Amy, who gave me all of the seeds in this garden except for the 3 packs of radishes I planted. So I did something different this year. I started in November in 2 of these troughs and 3 round containers in the backyard. And I started broccoli, cauliflower, and rutabaga from the seeds I got from my niece. And I've never done that before. So I transplanted all these rutabaga seedlings. And I'll get a close-up on some here. Those are rutabagas. I got them probably too closely planted, but I'll have to thin them out as they get bigger. And then over here are broccoli. And I got a whole mess of them in this row here. And then yesterday, finally the wind slowed down in SoCal, so I was able to plant cauliflower. And these sprouts grew from November until early February or mid-February in pots. And then you just take them out and separate the roots. These look droopy over here because they just got planted yesterday, but as they get some sun and some time, they'll get their root structure going again and they'll spring up. And the ones that don't spring up, then it's okay because they're overcrowded anyway. These plants get really big. I learned something interesting about cauliflower is that the white cauliflower you see at the store, or blanched is the term. And what that means is that they take big leaves from the plant and they put it on top of the flower bud or the bloom, which is actual cauliflower that you eat, and they tape it together so that the light won't get to the cauliflower fruit. So the problem with that I can see is cauliflower is supposed to be purple, but because they keep the light off of it, it stays white color. And we all know that purple is a cancer-fighting vegetable, so I'm not going to blanch these. If I get up a bunch of big plants here, I'm going to let those leaves spread out. And so that's about cauliflower. I got several types of beans along my trellis here. 4 different types. And then that last dirt trench I've got over there, I'm going to be planting today, the last of these seeds. There's several types of tomatoes. Some are cherry tomatoes. So I got Cherokee purples, black crim, sweet pea. Let's see what else here. Black cherry, San Marzano Lungo number 2. And then there's peppers. So I gotta look these up, see how hot they are, so I'm not surprised later. I got Wisconsin Lakes, pepper cherry bells, and cayenne long thin, so those will be hot. So I'm gonna put them all in that row. I'm gonna space them out pretty even. Tomatoes and peppers. So perpendicular to these main rows, I've got turnips, and then all the radishes are in this wide row here. There's 3 different types of radishes. So it's rutabaga, 2 rows, 3 types of radishes, broccoli, 4 types of beans, cauliflower, tomatoes and peppers that go there, turnips. And then in these pots were various, that's eggplant, and then there was some melons, some weird type of melons, and then some cantaloupes. And I have terrible luck with these cantaloupes and melons because they're sweet. And things tend to get in there and eat them, whether it's a rabbit or whatever it is. So I put them in these deeper pots. These are old recycled drum shells that I stripped and put some potting soil inside of. So we'll see if any of those do anything. They might droop out. But I did something else different this year. Rather than digging up the entire plot of land here, which is very tiring with a shovel, I dug trenches and then I put potting soil in there to make it a little bit more fertile. So I'm hoping that this grass and weeds on the edge doesn't get in there too bad. Being that most of this stuff is root crops, I think it'll be okay. The roots should grow even if it gets a little bit of intrusive grass. And the only thing we haven't figured out is we normally plant zucchini for the tortoises, but since it's so early still and those are summer squash, I think I may do like round 2 where those radishes are planted. Radishes are usually done in about a month and a half. They grow super fast. So if I harvest all those by, say, end of March, somewhere like that, maybe even beginning of April, I could probably plant a whole bunch of hills of zucchini in there, and then our tortoises can have zucchini. So anyway, that's our garden. I've got a little bit of space on the north side I didn't use, but it tends to be too dry up there because it's sloped. So anyway, a lot of work. Austin helped me a lot transplanting these plants. Jennifer and Megan did a little bit too, but mostly Austin. So a lot of work, but it was fun. Hopefully we get a lot of good crops this year. And I've never ever successfully grown broccoli or cauliflower, even though I've tried before. They're both cold weather plants, and SoCal is warm, it's zone 10. So starting them in November and getting those plants up and running, I think was a good idea. So hopefully they'll be large and edible before the crazy heat comes. But we'll see what happens. My 2018 first garden update. Okay, I just finished planting them and watering them. It's on the left there, the peppers and tomatoes, next to the cauliflower and the beans. And the garden always looks better after you water it. It's that dark soil to show up. So, hoping for a lot of crops. These rutabagas will get as big as our fist. You cook them like a mashed potato. But I'm really, really, really wanting broccoli and cauliflower this year. So we'll see what happens.